Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jessica Barbier, your host for the Cox Community Connection. With us today from South County Outreach is Executive Director Lara Fisher and Board Member Patricia Flack. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, thanks for joining us. Let's just dive right in. Lara, can you tell us about the work you're doing at South County Outreach?
South County Outreach is a hunger and homelessness service provider focusing directly on residents of South Orange County. So our service area is from Irvine to San Clemente, and then from Laguna Beach to the foothills. Within that, we have a transitional housing program, an on-site food pantry, a homeless prevention program where we actually assist people with their rent or utilities, a computer learning lab that we consider our workforce development program that allows people to take free computer training, and then we have a social enterprise upscale resale that is a thrift store that allows us to give out clothing to our clients that maybe need professional clothing for an interview or to send their kids back to school, but also generates income directly into our programs. 90 cents of every dollar that is donated to us goes directly to feeding, housing, or clothing residents of South Orange County.
That's incredible. So you're not busy at all?
No,
basically.
No. Have a little bit going on. We service about 9,500 clients a year, 45% of which are children. So that can be a really hard day some days. You see a lot of people just needing a little bit of help. The majority of our clients are working, but they're either underemployed or some of them are a single income and maybe need two incomes to be able to just afford housing in Orange County.
So clearly these services are drastically needed in Orange County.
Very much so. A recent study came out that indicated that a person making minimum wage, $8 an hour in Orange County, would need to work 133 hours a week just to be able to afford housing. So it's a big struggle. You know, that doesn't take into account being able to feed a family or being able to keep your utilities or health insurance or any of the other necessities that a lot of us take for granted. So.
And Patricia, I know you personally got involved with South County Outreach before you became a board member. Can you tell us your story?
South County Outreach actually helped myself. I'm a graduate of this transitional housing program. I was losing my home, and I am a caretaker of two grandchildren that are special needs. And for me, there was no other help. I'm not a substance abuse user, not abused. And there's not many resources out there for people that are just falling on hard times. There are a lot of people in my circumstances, grandparents coming back to be parents again, people that have debilitating illnesses or losing their job, losing their home. And so I was very fortunate and blessed to have found South County Outreach, and they gave me a respite, and the many things that they offer with the transitional housing is counseling and group resources, and with that and just a safe haven to just breathe for a moment, I was able to get back on my feet, and I've been gone for 2 years now. And then later they asked me if I would like to be a part of the board member, and in June I joined the board, just with some hope of giving back.
It's definitely a full circle story, and you talk about success stories, but you're truly one of those. And thank you for sharing that story with us. How did you find out about South County Outreach?
I am very fortunate. I have a friend that's a marriage and family counselor who works at the senior center in Irvine, and she heard about South County Outreach and told me, well, just try it out. And so I made all these kinds of calls. I called 211. It's very confusing, and I've never had to ask for help before. It was very daunting. And but they made it very easy. They saved my life. They really did.
Thank you for sharing that. So I know plans are underway for a fundraiser, the first ever of its kind. Can you tell us a little bit about what's...
We will host our first Empty Bowls, which is an offering of a humble meal. So we have 13 local chefs that are preparing soup for the evening. And we have local artisans that have prepared a ceramic bowl that will be a keepsake for everybody that attends. It's October 24th at 6 p.m. at El Niguel Country Club. Tickets are $75, and we're very, very excited for this first opportunity to kind of share our story with the community.
And I know 2014 is a big year for you. You have a move coming, new locations, as well as an anniversary. Can you tell us what's in store for South County Outreach this coming year?
We will be 25 years old next year. We were started locally by a 70-year-old businessman who saw a need in Orange County. At the time, you could hand out food stamps to people in need things have changed a little bit since then, and we are now a $3 million nonprofit. But in addition to it being our 25th year, we're also changing our headquarters. So we will move much closer to the 5, which will give our clients that are in South Orange County easier access to our services, and we will be doubling the size of our pantry. So right now we're in about 5,600 square feet. We'll move to 11,000 square feet, and all of our services will be under one roof. So we're very excited about that. We'll be hosting a grand opening and some volunteer recognition and celebrating our 25th year in March.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And before we close out here, can you just speak to the different ways the community can get involved with your organization?
We rely very heavily on volunteers. So we have 250 volunteers that show up weekly and work a shift for us just as if they were going to a job. We have people that help us in our pantry. We have truck drivers that pick up food for us. We have volunteers that teach classes for us. We always need help with data entry. Some of them actually work directly with our clients to sit down and kind of talk about what their needs assessments are. So we always need volunteers. We always need food drives to be running too. A lot of times, especially going into the fall, our heaviest use time in some instances can be in the summertime when kids are out of school. So the need is very high to replenish our shelves this time of the year. So food drives are important, volunteers are important, and obviously as a nonprofit, donations are huge.
Great. Well, there's a lot of ways that the community can get involved. Thank you so much for what you're providing to our community. I really appreciate it, and thanks for coming to our show.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be right back after this brief message.